So I'm here to help you get more leads, help you get more clients, help more people, and of course, make more money. You're in the business to create profit. That is your goal. Serve well your clients, help them, and get paid well. That's the whole idea. That's why we're here. You have any questions? Just post them in the comments. Be happy to answer them for you. We'll be happy to tackle whatever issues you're dealing with, whatever questions you have. That is my job. Let's say hi to some folks real quick. Michael checking in, speaking checks to me. That's awesome. Trisha, good morning. Karen, good morning. Mr. Derek Radford never misses a training session. Goes to show you, successful people do that. Hey, Kim Lovely, good morning to you all the way to Southern California. Mr. Jeremy Marquez is with us. Rosario is here and Earl checking in. All right, guys, before I jump in, real quick, update for you. We are halfway sold out for our presentation masterclass here in Washington, D.C. I want to teach you how to communicate confidently and how to deliver a rock-solid listing presentation where you don't struggle over price, you don't struggle over commission, there's no haggle, you and the seller are on the same page. So come join us. Few tickets are still left. We'd love to have you. Speaking of tickets, if you are in the Northern Virginia area or in the Maryland area, I will be speaking tomorrow at a local real estate stagers conference for real estate agents and stagers. Come say hi, come visit. It's going to be a great event. It includes lunch. I have one complimentary ticket that I can give away. One free ticket that we were graciously given by the host tomorrow. It's going to be Thursday. It starts, I believe, at 9 o'clock in the morning. I will post details in the comment. But if you want to win one of those tickets, just put in the comment the word ticket. Now, of course, you must be willing and able to show up tomorrow morning, Thursday, and come to the event. I'm speaking in the afternoon. I'm going to spend an hour and a half talking to you about this new system, new way of marketing that we've been implementing and many other agents have been implementing very successfully. The new wave of using video and interacting with social media, with your clients, prospects, generating referrals, getting leads. It's going to be a really good presentation. First time I'm going to present it, brand new information. I'm really excited about it. So come join us if you can. If you're in town tomorrow, it's Thursday, RESA conference, really good times. Lunch included, a lot of good information. There will be 3 presenters, including me, talking to you. So I'll post a link here in the comments, but if you'd like to win a free ticket, just type the word ticket and we'll hook you up. All right, friends. Let's get this party started. So a couple of questions that I wanted to address that showed up here on Rockstar. First one was from Alex. He writes, hey Rockstars, can you share your thoughts? Yesterday I called an expired seller who had several sellable homes on the market that expired over the course of 6 months. These were all brand new expireds. No answer, left a voicemail, sent a text, and about 10 hours later I received a reply. Seller, did I give you permission to contact me? Me, no. I was looking to find out if you still wanted to get the home sold. My office works with a lot of qualified buyers looking for an area. Homes just like yours, just like the ones you had on the market, when do you have 5 to 10 minutes to discuss a new strategy to get the home sold? Seller, then don't contact me or I will take harassment order against you. Cue up the Matlock theme. For those who don't know, it was an old legal show. Anyway, thanks for posting, Alex. A lot of comments, of course, as you see, 116 comments later. Some people say, hey, go for it, contact him, go visit him, do this, do that. Some people say, you know, you got to be careful, you don't want to get in trouble. So where do you stand? Few tips that will help you. Tip number 1, of course, don't get in legal trouble. You don't want to get sued, whether he's right or wrong, whether the seller has the right to sue or not. Don't do anything stupid, of course. Don't cross any boundaries that would cost you money, time, or worse, your license or your mental health. So don't do that. Not worth it. Now, with that said, since when is it a crime for one person trying to help another person? What times are we living when one person tries to help somebody genuinely, authentically, and is accused of, oh, don't harass me? Interesting, isn't it? So here are a few things that I would like to give you when you're prospecting, when you're calling, when you're interacting with people. First, set a good intention. Set the intention, I'm here to help. My first objective is not to get a listing and get paid. That's going to come with some people, sometime down the road. Maybe in a few hours, few days, few weeks, few months, who knows? But your very first intention is connect to help. Be authentically, genuinely interested in finding out who are these people, what are they trying to do, and can I help them? So let's put that on the board. So set the right intention. That's important. Set the intent, I want to help people. I want to serve my clients. I want to serve my community. I know many of you do. I very much appreciate that. So set that first. Set it out there. Second, be aware that if you get a lot of jerks, a lot of people who are angry, a lot of people who are frustrated, like attracts like, it's time to reset your mindset, because it is your mindset and your beliefs, that attract these people. If you believe people out there are angry, it's difficult to work expired listings. I get a lot of douchebags, I get a lot of assholes, I get a lot of angry people. You're going to get a lot of them. It was one of the biggest breakthroughs when I started working expired listings, was to discover that if I shifted my mindset, if I start thinking positively about the expectations of meeting nice people, people who want my help, people who need me, who want my service, who appreciate my service, I got more of those. And those who didn't match that were filtered out almost automatically. You will still occasionally hit somebody who either had a shitty day, they got a flat tire, their boss chewed their ass out, the faucet in the master bathroom doesn't work anymore again, the kid brought an F in math, a shitty day. Then they had a property for sale that didn't sell, the dreams went up the smoke, everything blew up, and now agents harassing, calling them. Maybe a bad day. Maybe a bad life. So you need to distinguish, is it a personality or is it the circumstances? Personality versus circumstances. Personality versus circumstances. Don't ever work with assholes. Know your worth. How much you contribute to the marketplace. How much you help people. How much you contribute. How important it is what you do. So going in, yes, I want to help. I have the right intention, but I also have self-worth, self-esteem. High self-worth. I know what I do matters, and I know how I contribute is important to a lot of people. And they need my help, they want my help, and they'll be happy to pay me. So it's a combination of high status with desire to help, plus empathy. Understanding that some of these people deal with some rough situation. I mean, think about it. This person, this seller, might have been in some very difficult financial position. Properties didn't sell. Now agents bombarding him. Who knows? So this is the preset. Now, as far as the execution, if somebody specifically tells me, don't ever call me again, or I will file a lawsuit against you, what? Fine. Why? Because my mindset is that of abundance. Abundance. It's the word I write into my goals. I have a book where I write my goals every day. That's one of the words I always write. Abundance of clients, abundance of money, abundance of joy and good health, all of that. So if I happen to do my prospecting, which you will, if you do it in high volumes, of course. If you talk to hundreds of people, somebody's going to be a dick, somebody's going to be angry, somebody's going to be a douchebag. But because I know there's plenty, there are over 13,000 homes they're going to sell today. If the National Association of Realtors numbers are correct, which they are, they're predicting 5 million transactions. If 13,000 sell today, there's plenty. What is it in your marketplace? How many homes go up for sale every day? 20, 30, 40, 50, 100? A lot, right? So there's plenty. So if one is difficult, move on to the next one. Now, that's if it's a personality or the circumstances. If the seller is really angry, there are two types of anger. One is because the life sucks, or that's simply who they are. Move on, drop those. But I also talk about sellers, like in my book, Miss Besak. Remember Miss Besak? Old lady. I was calling expired listings. She picked up a phone and she really unloaded on me on the phone. Not the way an old lady should be talking. That was crazy. She was really angry. She was really vicious. And normally I would just move on. I don't need the abuse, don't want it. It doesn't match my ideal client or ideal prospect. But this was something different about this lady. I'm thinking, why would she be really so frustrated? I mean, it's just a phone call. What's the worst that can happen? You push a button, you hang up. No big deal. When I went to visit her, thinking she's going to be nicer in person, I was wrong. It was worse. She used language dock workers unloading ships don't use. Soldiers don't use. Rough guys don't use. Mobsters don't use. It was terrible. But after a while, when she's vented it all out, what I discovered is that after this pissed off, dangerous, angry Miss Besak, thank God she wasn't armed, because I might not be here today talking to you, was a disappointed and sad Miss Besak and scared Miss Besak. Because a lot of this behavior of anger and frustration comes from fear. And hers had to do with her daughter. Miss Besak was late 60s, early 70s, in poor health. Maybe even older. And her daughter had moved out of the area and she wanted to move in with her, to be closer to the grandkids, to be closer to the family. And now that the house didn't sell, she felt like she was running out of time. With her health declining fast, she was just angry and she was taking it out on all the agents who called her. But because I took time to really listen and to really dig deeper what really troubled her, she opened up, we connected, I listed the property, helped her sell it, and she wrote me a lovely thank you note. Later, we kept in touch. She invited me to visit, which I never really took up on it. That was disappointing, but I never did. So distinguish. Be patient. Sometimes it really requires a little more patience and more persistence. I'm not saying give up immediately on everybody who raises their voice. You would be in trouble not just in real estate, but in life. That's just how life is. Sometimes people react to stressful, difficult situations in a defensive way. And to some, that means raising voice, being aggressive, being resistant, being emotional, which you can't be. Don't buy into their drama. So what would I do in an average situation when somebody's not polite and not kind and not nice? I would give them a chance. I would say and think, I said, look, I know it sucks. Not selling a home when the dreams just kind of blow up is bad. But sometimes plans change. Sometimes you shouldn't just give up because the property didn't sell the first time. 40% of homes in our market don't sell the first time around, so you're not alone. If you ever want to talk or want some more information or would like to just know what would it take to get it sold for a good price, reach out, let me know. No pressure, no sales, no nothing. And I would keep in touch. And sometimes I would convert them. Not always. But I would at least try. I would at least give them a chance to reevaluate what really matters. And sometimes staying is a better solution. Sometimes staying is better. But you just don't know. That's why being persistent in your follow-up occasionally converts even those who at the beginning don't seem like would convert or would be interested in selling. And the reason I know that is because on those I have given up, I gave up on, they did come back on the market with another agent down the road when they cooled off, rethought the situation, and a good persistent agent showed them the possibility and a hope. Because what they're really reacting, and this is important, you need to understand that the decisions and the behavior is based on emotions. It's not logical, it's not rational. This seller might be better off getting the property sold. And Alex might be a great choice for him. But the decisions and the reactions to those decisions are not based on logic, they're based on emotion. Threatening somebody with lawsuits and being angry and using words that they shouldn't be using with another human being in most cases, it just shows that the emotions take precedence. And that's usually not a good idea, especially if the emotions are negative. Now, if you're passionate, if you're positive, if you're optimistic, if you're excited, if you're having a good time, that's a good emotion to let you govern. But not when you're angry, frustrated, or disappointed. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? So use your judgment. Don't give up too soon. Follow up if you feel it's appropriate, but sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes it's best just to move on because there is plenty. Is that helpful, guys? What do you say? Brian says, wonderful message. Good. Empathy. Excellent. That's what we're talking about here, yes. All right. Yeah, Jeremy's right. Their life sucks, and sometimes it does. And sometimes I have compassion and understanding for that. Sometimes your life sucks. Sometimes my life sucks. Oh, Borino, what do you have to whine about? Trust me, it's not always easy. Jeremy's right. Trick is not letting the no's get to you, or you'll never find the yes. Well, do the math with me, Jeremy. And I'm just going to pull numbers out of my completely rectal extraction process in these numbers. So bear with me, but it will illustrate my point. If one listing is worth, let's say in my area, it's $8,620 to get that listing. And it takes me 2 appointments to get that listing. And it takes me 10 leads to go on an appointment. So I need 10 times 2, 20 leads. All right? So I need 20 leads, high probability leads, of course, good quality leads. 20 leads to get that one transaction. You with me so far? Okay. So now, if it takes me, let's say, I don't know, how many expired listings? Let's say 50 expired listing dials to get 5 conversations to get a lead. That would be kind of my expectations. Your numbers will be very different. So if I get 5 conversations to get that 1 lead, this is a convo, this is dials, attempts. So 50 times 20 is 1,000 dials, right? To get 100 conversations to get 20 leads. That'd be give or take, you know my numbers. So if I have 100 conversations, I get 80 no's and 20 maybes. So now let's add it up. 8,620 divided the 80 no's. So it's about $100. Am I right? So 1,000 dials. So 1 dial is worth $8. You follow the logic? If I do $1,000, each one earns me $8 because I know if I do $1,000, I'm going to have 100 conversations. So that's about $80 per conversation. 20 leads, 2 appointments, 1 transaction. That's a nice way to look at it. So even a no is worth something. It's worth dollars. It's all worth some dollars because you keep going to those yeses. And if you do it in high enough numbers, they're going to happen. Make sense? Amma says, I should have brought them to him in person, but I wasn't afraid he'd be. Let's see. Should have brought them to him in person, but I was afraid he'd shoot me if I saw him. I got yelled at on the phone by an expired yesterday. Angry man, erase my number from your memory bank, etc. Hang up. I felt bad for him. So the chocolate dipped strawberries delivered. Yeah, you can do that. You can be kind of nice. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Won't hurt. But understand, people will get angry, whether it's in real estate. I've seen people get angry at my Mercedes-Benz dealership. I took my car there for service. Guy was pissed off, yelling at the staff. I saw a checkout girl at the grocery store getting yelled at. The one, you know, the checker that processed the food. There was a customer that, I don't know what happened, probably their coupons didn't work or shit like that. She got yelled at. I mean, she had tears rolling down. It's just life. It's part of life. And yes, in this business, you need to have a thick skin. This is not for wimps. This is not for wussies. I'm not saying take abuse, but I'm also saying you got to have a thicker skin. That's why I'm kind of amused when somebody reacts here on Rockstars on a comment. There's, oh, that hurt my feelings. Oh, I can believe you said that. That's so rude. That's so inappropriate. It's just dots on the screen, people. Got to have some thick skin. You got to develop some fortitude, some toughness, mental. Yeah? Helpful? All right, guys. Okay. Nigel says, Borino always focused on those high probabilities. That's where the best business is, by the way. I will do another session for you guys because the question keeps coming up. Where do I get the best leads? I'll teach you. I'll show you. I mean, I've done it in the past. You guys might know. We'll go through it again. But now, let's address this. Greg. Hey, Mr. Greg, are you see you're here? Excellent. So I promised to answer your question. I've spoken to at least 6 FSBOs recently. I love you guys working high probability leads. That's where the goddamn business is. Excellent. Some of which are expired turned FSBO. Now here's an important thing. You're going to see that a lot. A property expires and goes FSBOs. You know what that means? The seller thinks this asshole agent that I hired, this doofus who tried to sell my house, I can do a better job than him. I can do it better than him. That's what they're saying. That's why they're going for sell by owners. I can do this by myself. Who needs that idiot? Make sense? So that's what they're doing. So let's continue. They flat out say, I'm not working with a realtor because they don't know anything about posting on MLS. Exactly. Agents perceived as incompetent. Most people, even realtors, don't know the difference between the selling agent and a listing agent. I'm getting real tired of having to apologize for the shortcoming of my peers. What's your best comeback to a seller who doesn't want to pay commissions? I need new material to try. You don't need new material, Greg. It is not new material that you need. You need an effective material. Whether it's new or old doesn't matter. Is it effective? That's the important thing. So let's tackle that. First of all, good for you. You're working with people who need your help. You're working with people who, especially because they got burned by an agent who is not competent, appreciate competent agent. Here's the catch. They don't know it yet. They honestly think they can do it. But what we have is what they don't, which is statistics. So let me give you some statistics. You treat these people as a for sale by owner. That's it. You don't worry about the expired element. That only indicates they're serious about selling. And because of statistics, and I'm going to give you two numbers. I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to give you this. These are the two stats you must know, because they will arm you with knowledge. The first number is number of for sale by owners sold in 2018, calendar 2018. They were for sale by owners, only 8%. Only 8% of the transactions here in the United States were FSBOs. They don't know what they're doing. They can't get it done. It's just not going to happen. Most of them don't sell. Only 8 homes out of 100 were successful FSBO sales. The lowest number ever since the NAR has been tracking it since 1981. You would think with all the technology, with all the tools, all the automation, all the AI, shouldn't be easier? Not so. Numbers don't lie. 8%, the lowest ever. So you need to know that. Most of them do not sell. They think they can. They hope they can, but they won't. The second important number is, out of 100 for sale by owners who come to a website called FSBOR, I interviewed the CEO of that site, 71% list with an agent in about 30 days. They both are very congruent statistics. I mean, just look around your neighborhood. If, God forbid, you're not working for sale by owners and you see a sign, watch. Most of them either go away, they don't sell, or they end up listing. That's really what's happening. So you have data. You have good data. This is positive, optimistic data. Here is why it matters. Out of those 6, if these numbers are correct, which they are, you have about 5 potential listings. There are at least 4 or 5 good listings you're sitting on. So here's the important part. How do you work with somebody who doesn't like agents, who doesn't want to list with an agent again, but still wants to sell? That's the important part. That's the part, that's the answer. CDE. 3 very magical letters. CDE. My students already know, raising their hands. Yes, I know, pick me. Core driving emotion. That's the desire to move. And it's driven by only 2 forces, pain and pleasure. That's it. They try to get away from something or they try to get towards something. Every single seller, no exceptions, 100%. Put their house on the market, whether it's an income property, rental property, vacation property, their first home, their condo, their last home, doesn't matter. Every single one of those were triggered by this magic, CDE, core driving emotion. In our workshop here in DC, when you come in May, we're going to focus on this because this is the magic answer to influence, to understanding, and to connection. CDE. Now, what is motivation? How intense the CDE is. You following me? How intense this is. Their need to get this property sold for whatever reason that is, and there are about 15 different CDE, core driving emotions, that drive them, the real reasons why they're making the move, will then be justified by logic, will be explained and reasoned with. The stronger the CDE, the higher the motivation, the less important the logic is. They do need to balance out. I mean, if somebody's going to net $2,000 and want to buy a $15 million castle in Laguna Beach, California, that's not going to happen. But if the emotion is there, if the desire is there, that's the trigger. If it's not there, you have a non-motivated seller. The logic can be all logical for them to sell and move. You ever had a seller where you do a very logical presentation, you very logically explain what the property should be listed at, the comms and the CMA are very logical, and then they tell you we want 100,000 more? And you're like, what the fuck, right? People don't make logical decisions. They justify it with logic. They explain it with logic. The logic plays a role later, but the trigger is here. So now, you have 6 for sale by owners. If the core driving emotion is strong, if the desire to move is strong, even the expired listing we talked earlier who had these 6 properties, if the emotion is strong enough and if the desire to unload this because the benefit of moving is strong, you have a motivated seller. You have a good seller. You have somebody to work with. Now, whether they tell me they like agents or not, I don't care. Because I know whether they like agents or not, if the strong CDE is there, they're going to be listing. That's what I know. So now how do you approach it? Who here likes car salesmen? Not many, right? Poor guys have bad reputation. And yet, we all drive cars. We bought them somewhere. We bought them from a dealer somewhere, unless you bought it from a private party. Not likely. Most of the cars are purchased through a dealer. So even though we don't like him, we do business with him. Here's the new approach. You will be liked. You will stand out, especially with the seller who hates the previous agent, which very often is just because the other agent was incompetent, harvester of listings and leads rather than provider of a service, advisor, and a counselor. You take a very different approach. You take the FSBORINO approach, the approach I teach you in the FSBO system. Most of you have it, who are my students, right? Looks like this. Let's see if I have a copy of the book here. I think I do. Yeah, it's right from here. So now, it's called FSBORINO. If you don't have it, get it. It's called FSBORINO. Your approach, one, is to build a helpful, trustful connection. That means I'm not here to list your property yet. I don't know you yet. We don't trust each other, like each other yet. Let's explore and let's see if I can help you first. It is the approach I call goodwill first. Goodwill first. You putting out goodwill to be genuinely, authentically willing to help this person. That is the fastest way to crumble that mindset that the seller has that the agents are assholes, they're incompetent. You see, if you go in with a fancy script, if you go in with closing, if you go in with desire to, I need to convince them, I need to demonstrate how good I am and how different I am, you're going to acquire a lot of resistance. You're going to hit a lot of walls because you're going to be instantly lumped with everybody else because that's what the other agents are doing. Now they hide it. They say, well, I'm going to be helpful a little bit. I'm going to give you this little thing, but I want the listing. You be genuinely out there. How can I help? Bring us a buyer. That I cannot do. What I can do is let my buyers know whether they're going to come or even buy the house or even want to see it. I can control that, but I'd be more than happy to tell them about it. Why don't you provide the professional photos you have of your property and I'll forward it to every single potential buyer I have and I have a big database. A lot of people who may be interested. We don't know. That I can do. What else can I do? I can consult you. I can help you. I have resources. I have information. Now, this is where agents get stuck. The scarcity mindset. Remember we talked about the abundance? Remember that word? Abundance? Your abundance mindset. Because you know, some people will list with you, some people will not. Some people will end up listing with an agent, some people will sell on their own. It's all good. Statistically, I know there is some chunk for me there. There's a nice slice of this tasty pie. I'm going to get it with some patience. So, Greg, the approach is be kind, be high status, be helpful, don't be salesy. Provide something that's helpful to the seller, something that really benefits them, the goodwill first approach. And then in a FSBORINO, you have, 18, 19 different methods that you're going to deploy one by one. Don't overwhelm them. Don't give them a FSBO book. Don't offer legal contracts. Don't talk about price. Don't talk about commission. Talk about anything else. Their number one order of business, of course, is how do I get more buyers? So help them solve that. You should have a good ad on a Zillow. You should hold an open house every weekend. You should run ads on Craigslist. There's a list of websites where you should promote your property. You should qualify every potential buyer, screen them, make sure they're here really interested in a house, not in your goods and belongings and God knows what else. You need to follow up with them. You need to make sure they're pre-qualified. That's the job of an agent. So you need to be a marketing expert and a real estate expert. Now I'm here to help you, obviously. Make sense? That's the approach. And then the trick is follow-up. That's where the conversions happen. Keeping in touch. Every 7 days, you provide something helpful. Doesn't need to be huge. Just something a little bit helpful. Something where the seller goes, Greg is different. He's not hunting me for the listing. He's not annoying me. He's giving me good information, something that I can use. Now, here's the trick, or the insight. Most of the information you provide the FSBO, why they shouldn't put their cell number on the for sale sign, being one of them, a bunch of others, they will not do. Most of them will not take time and craft a nice ad for Zillow or Craigslist. Most of them don't know how to do a good open house. If anything, they probably put 1 or 2 signs out there on Saturday, put a couple balloons up there, 3 or 4 people will show up, nothing. That's what majority of people do because they don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the desire. So if you patiently follow up with them, if you keep in touch, if you're communicating with them. Now, drip campaign is not follow-up. It is the communication. It is the conversation. It is the contribution. Communication, conversation, contribution. Communication, conversation, contribution. Because ask yourself this, Greg. If you know statistically, 71% will end up listing with an agent. That means out of those 6, 4 or 5 will be a listing. Who will the seller pick at the end? who do you think will be their first choice to say, let's talk to this guy? Who do you think that would be? Somebody who is aggressive, who uses scripts, who is trying to convince or influence them, or somebody who's genuinely helpful, somebody who's kind. Yes, you're a high status agent, and yes, if you see these people need to sell, they're much better off listing. That's why most people list. You're going to sell faster, you're going to get more money for it, you're going to be protected. It's just a better way to do it. So when the time comes, when the seller is mentally ready, after they go through the experience of trying it on their own, which first sounds like a great idea, later, not so much, then you're going to be their choice. And because you're constantly keeping in touch, you're not going to miss that opportunity. You're not passively waiting on your ass like most agents. You're actively out there, contributing, helping. Now, here's the best part. While you're working these 6, that's going to take 60 days, that's going to take 30 days, it just depends. What does it depend on? The intensity of their core driving emotion, the intensity of their motivation. The more motivated they are, the sooner they will consider plan B. But while you're working these, every day you can add another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And pretty soon you have 100, 150 really good leads on your follow-up system. So do the math with me. If out of those 100 leads you can put on your follow-up within the next few weeks, you convert only 10% to appointments and listings. That's still pretty damn good. Make sense? That's how you do it, friends. That's the whole secret. Now, yes, there's more to it than that. You need the right tools, the communication. You need the right mindset. You need the right follow-up. You need all that. That's where I come in. That's why I have the workshops. That's why I want for you to come to DC. Because we're going to build all this. What do you do with somebody who raises their hand and says, Craig, come on down? We want to talk to you. Then what do you do? The process doesn't start with your presentation. That's the last part. We're going to start at the beginning. Pre-framing, indoctrination, pre-listing process, pre-listing package, pre-listing interview, confirmation, the actual appointment. And the appointment will break down into 4 phases. This is what we're going to spend the 2 days working on. So come join us. It's going to be a good workshop. It's the only time I'm teaching it this year, so this is your chance. GoBorino.com/live is the URL. Would love to have you. All right? Izzy is absolutely right. What a good comment. Must put feelings aside in this business. Yes, Izzy. Don't let your emotions drive your income. Don't let your emotions control your business. If the emotion is not serving you, if the emotion is not pushing you forward, if the emotion is not exciting, giving you more energy, more hope, more optimism, shift it or do it in spite of the emotion. But don't let the emotion that is not supporting your mission be in the way as a barrier. Easier said than done, but it's critical. Yeah. Jeremy says, I would follow up in a week. He probably would be in different headspace. I'm not so sure, Jeremy. I would leave that one alone. If somebody starts threatening you with lawsuits, it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Rebecca would like to know if FSBORINO is in the path. Absolutely, Rebecca. Here is everything that's included in the path. The FSBO program, referral program, expired program, online lead generation, follow-up program, real estate video, listing presentation. We're coming up with the new one, 2.0. Everybody who's coming in DC will be the first ones. You're going to get the book and the videos and everything comes with it. Time management and a bunch more. So yes, it's all part of that. If you're interested in that, go to GoBorino.com. Fadi says, I want to ask about lenders. How to work with a lender doesn't know his or her game on presenting a deal to their investors. Fadi, that's not for this forum, really. We're talking about leads and getting listings. So that's for another day. All right. Nigel says, here in Australia, Purple Bricks, next worst option for sellers after FSBO, is really struggling, maybe on the way out. It's possible. Here's the thing, guys. I did the whole show on discount brokers. They're not new. The concept is not new. Just like the concept of Walmart is not new. There's market for Walmart, there's market for Nordstrom's. I shop at Nordstrom's. Not because I'm a snob, not because I try to impress. I just like the experience better. In my opinion, the quality is better, the store is nice, I like it, and I don't mind paying premium. But Walmart seems to be doing just as well. Lots of business, it's a different business model. Who will ultimately decide is the consumer. And there is a room for everybody. There's plenty of business for everybody. So rather than you worrying about it, understand how is their business model different? How does that benefit your customers, your consumers? And what do you bring to the table that's different? See, Nordstrom is very clear. They're not after Walmart customers. They're not offering discounts, coupons, loyalty cards. That's not their thing. That would not be in their best business interest to start marketing campaigns to attack Walmart. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about Zillows. Don't worry about Purple Bricks. Here's the thing. If that model wins, which I doubt, because it would have been won by now, you can't stop it anyway, because it's going to be driven by the consumers. Just like Uber cannot be stopped by taxi industry. It's impossible. It can only be stopped if they suck and if the consumers reject them. That doesn't seem to be the case. I dig Uber, by the way. I dig it more than the dirty, fucked up cabs here in DC, who are usually filthy, don't have a GPS, and are expensive. I want a clean car. I want to know how much it's going to cost me, how fast the car will be here, and how fast I'm going to get to my destination. Simple. If Uber is even a little more than cabs, I don't mind. I'm okay with that. So be okay and know, abundance again, that there's plenty for you. Right now, 5 years from now, who knows? We don't know where this world is going. We don't know what new technologies will emerge and how this industry will change. That's why I'm telling you the opportunity is here right now in front of you to make money and serve your clients. Do the best you can in what you've got. But it also means do your fucking best. Know the market better. Serve your clients better. Be a better communicator. Do a better listing presentation. Get your listing sold. Know how to market these things. I was so entertained. There was a discussion here on Rockstars today about how to write better MLS description. I'm like, what the fuck, people? Do you really go on MLS and read the description and go, well, it's a shitty listing, it's overpriced, but look at this description. The pros is so amazing. I must go and show this property. No. Don't waste your time with stuff that doesn't matter. And don't pretend it's important. Don't lie to yourself. Stop kidding yourself. You're wasting time on bullshit. Focus on things that matter. Price the sucker right. Put in description relevant information that's important to the showing agent, to the buyer's agents. Make sure it has a lockbox. Make sure you pay a good commission. Make sure the house is clean. If there are pets or if there are easements, if there's anything else that the selling agent, that the buyer's agent needs to know, then disclose it. Get on with your life. Go get more listings. Serve your clients. Done. But to agonize over words in MLS, come on, people, seriously? And you wonder why this industry is so fucked up? Of course it is if you're preoccupied with something so insignificant. Do the best you can with basic information there. That's all you really need. All right? Focus on what matters. Get customers. Get prospects. Get buyers and sellers you can serve. Get a lot of them. Serve them well. Do your best. Know your market inside out. Instead of fucking around with MLS descriptions, go study the market so you're really a rockstar expert. Go study good, confident communication. Come to my workshop. I'll help you with that. Do things that matter. Focus on what matters. Even if it means go exercise more, take a yoga class, meditate, read good books, educate yourself. That's money better spent. That's time better spent than fucking around with MLS descriptions and God knows what other 50 other things that you should not be doing. You know what you should be focused on other than studying the market, being really good at your craft? Getting leads, getting appointments, getting listings. So whenever you do nonsense like that, ask yourself, will this really get me more leads? Will this really get me more good listings? Will this really help me earn my dollars and serve my client well? The answer is no. Stop. Stop doing that. Make sense? All right, friends. Thanks for being here today. Appreciate every single one of you. Okay. So, goborino.com/live is the URL. Come join us. Sign up for it today. We'd love to have you. Gal says, amen. Thanks, Gail. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the feedback. Appreciate you being here today. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Be productive. Stay focused. Go kick some ass. You are real estate rock stars. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And if they do, tell them Borino said otherwise. All right? Thanks very much, you guys. Have a fantastic afternoon. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Coach Borino signing off. Let's go get him. Bye, everybody.